4, 3, 2, 1. Call this meeting to order. Please follow me in the salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So how's D1 today?
Oh, we're about D'd out.
That's right.
Any citizens desiring to be heard? Hearing none. Item 4 is a public hearing on fiscal year 2016 CDBG road project for District Number 2.
That'd be me, wouldn't it?
That would be
Good
Kelly.
morning.
Good morning.
Appreciate the opportunity to meet with you all. What we are proposing with our CDBG grant is to apply in the community revitalization set aside. It's due at the end of this month, and to do some asphalt overlay of a couple of streets, roads in the Green Oak Estates area. Be doing East Noble Drive and Wildwood Road. These roads total about 3,200 linear feet. They would receive an asphalt overlay. One of the two has got to have some milling done on it, and they'll need a little bit of curb replacement in some areas. What we are proposing is to apply for $88,200 of CDBG grant funds and a contribution of matching funds of $88,200, dollar for dollar match. At this point, since we're in public hearing, I would just pause and see if anyone has questions about the project.
I got one, 88,000 in CDB fund. I thought it was limited at 50,000.
No, up to 150.
Up to 100. You're right, 150. That's correct.
Yeah.
Matching funds. Where are they coming from?
They'd have to come out of District 2
Okay.
at this time, unless we get fat or something.
M&O, is that what you're saying?
Yes, out of our either project fund or sales tax fund, but yes, sir, we're gonna have to figure that out. But if CBRI gets fat by then, which of course probably not gonna happen, we may be asking you guys to help us out a little bit. But we don't know. But right now, that's what we intend on. Either it'll be coming out of District 2.
All right. Okay. So do you have that available today?
Not at this moment.
Okay.
Is there any in-kind on that 88?
No.
No.
It's a
Cash
cash
off.
contribution.
Yeah. Too problematic. It would be not that much.
Okay.
Sorry, Nellie, go ahead.
Good questions. No, that's good. If not any other questions, we'll conclude the public hearing and then can move into the agenda items.
One more.
Okay.
What was the name of this road?
One of them is East Noble Drive, and the other one is Wildwood Drive.
Both being county maintained?
Yes. Yeah, they were accepted, well, they were built in, I think, 72, something like that, 70 or 72. And so they've been county maintained ever since the homeowners association went south. Not but a few years after that, so we've been maintaining those. We already did one for Green Oaks Way as well as Cedar Lane.
All these county maintained or just
Yes.
these two?
Yes.
All of them are?
Yes. So there's Green Oaks Way that we did for a mile section, and we did the Cedar Lane also. That also was on CBDG.
Thank you.
All right, Millie, I'm done.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, we'll conclude the public hearing and then can go into your agenda items.
All right.
You need to close the
We will, at this time, close the public hearing and move on to item 5. And item 5 is consideration and possible action on resolution on leverage matching funds for fiscal year 2016 CDBG road project for District Number 2.
The resolution just states the amount of $88,200. Because of the timing of the grant, funding announcements won't be made until June to July, somewhere in there. No monies would be expended until your next fiscal year, your next budget year.
So just going for the 88,000, does it make you score higher because you're not asking for the full amount of the 150?
It makes you score highest to have dollar for dollar match. And so, you know, if you don't have 150,000 match where you could ask for all of it, do more roads, then back it down to where your comfort level on your match is.
And you're comfortable at 88?
Yes.
Good deal. I'm good with it. I'll move we approve.
I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item number 6. Whoops, I did that. Did I? No.
You're on
Okay.
6.
Consideration and possible action on adopting residential anti-displacement plan for fiscal year 2016 CDBG road project for District Number 2.
This is the anti-displacement plan. It specifically talks about a road project in District 2. The time to talk about this is during the application phase. You always want to know when you do a CDBG grant, are you going to have to move or relocate any persons out of their homes as a result of your project. In this particular case, we are not. We're overlaying the existing streets. But with each grant program, you still have to have a plan on file that if that should happen, what your plan would be to provide for replacement housing. And that's what that plan is.
Well, nobody will lose their homes, not on this one. I think I'll make the motion on this.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Looks like that takes care of the CBDG, right?
Email these to you once I get them numbered.
Okay.
Very good.
I'm gonna hang around. I'll have a few more items to go over with you. We've got a very short
Absolutely,
meeting.
not an issue. All right, moving on to item 7. Consideration and possible action on vacating the plat of Ensign Valley Equestrian Estates Number 1 in the southeast quarter of Section 33, 15 North, 2 West.
Who's wanting vacated?
This gentleman right here. Sasa, I'm sorry, I
Let me,
can't get your last name yet.
let me pronounce my full name
Please.
for you. My name is Satish
Satish.
Dasharathi, and we acquired this property at the intersection of Water Road and I-35 some years ago. We didn't make any changes to it. It was platted earlier by the previous owner. And our plans for that area is completely different from what was originally platted. It was platted for as a subdivision at Equestrian Estates, and we're looking at developing the whole area commercially. Our first project is to do an OnQ Express. We're selling a small portion of the land to OnQ, and they're going to be starting their construction. I have a little plan that they've given me of what they're going to do. And, in order for me to make the sale and start the process of developing it commercially, I'm going to have to vacate the plat the way it is right now, and that's why I'm making this request. And the request has been prepared by our attorney, Mr. David Kennedy, and he was not able to be here today, but I'm here as the owner of the property, and I'm making that request.
Good.
Yeah, it did go to Lowell.
So
And
you're on
give-
the east side of I-35?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
and
What are you gonna put over there? I'm just curious,
The first project, like I said, is OnQ Express, and
they're set up just to sign for the
they're,
chairman.
uh,
Y'all
we're-
look at 'em.
we're going to be, at least a tentative date to close on that is Monday. So they're gonna be buying that land, and they've already got all the plans developed. And they should be probably getting to you all for a permit to construct.
Not to us.
Oh, okay.
We don't do that here.
Okay.
Not in this county.
Okay. So they're gonna be building that facility there, and I'm sure you all are familiar with their on-queue.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna be a really nice project, and it'll be a first one, hopefully help generate some good sales tax revenue for the county. And I think we're also in active conversations with 3 other projects. I can't disclose who they are at this time, because we're still actively pursuing it. There's one group out of California we're looking at for the first piece. I think what OneQ is going to do is actually have a roadway to the north at the east edge of their property where that restaurant used to be, right adjacent to it. And that's about the same area as what ODOT has designated as a point of no access beyond that point. So we're gonna shoot a road straight up north going that way. Right now we have actually an access road that ends up in 3 cul-de-sacs. And our goal is to continue to develop that road and have it loop with those cul-de-sac roads and develop along I-35 commercially. And I'm also talking to some big box stores that may want to come and locate there. So all of that is happening as we speak, and I'm probably be back here for more things to happen as we come. And thank you for your consideration.
So the ADA's looked over it and is okay with
Yes.
it? Okay. I move we approve.
Just to clarify what this is gonna do, when they plat, it creates a new legal description. This will undo and send that property back to rural, and it'll be recorded in the clerk's office in the land records.
I'll second Marvin's motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Is your mailing address, I'm gonna have to mail this original back to you. I'm gonna have to get the ADA to sign off. He's looked at it and approved it, but I see it needs its actual signature. I'll mail you back the copy, or you can come pick it up when I get that done.
Okay. Do you know when that might be? 'Cause
Well, hopefully I'll have it this afternoon if I can get the local one to do it for me.
Because I think I'll need it for the closing on Monday.
Okay. Okay.
So,
And I know they're waiting with bated breath.
I will get word here. Seems how Lowell's looked at it, it shouldn't be a problem. I'll grab one from here.
okay, so let me give you my card.
Please.
When it's ready, if you can give me a call, I can pick it up.
Yeah, I don't think I got one.
Get one, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm not gonna be able to say the name very well.
Satish.
I'll try.
Yeah, and the last name rhymes with Maserati.
Maserati.
So it's pretty easy. But you get it.
That works a lot better. Yeah, I appreciate that very much.
Is there a filing fee or anything like that I have to pay?
Yes. And tell you, 12, it'll be $17 to record it. As soon as I get the signatures and add in an attestament to allow it to be.
17 and make it out to the...
Logan County Clerk.
All right.
Flower fund?
No?
Oh.
No.
Moving on to item 8. Discussion pertaining to report of county clerk of requirements to consider implementation of direct deposit of county employee payroll and a survey of county employees regarding direct deposit of payroll.
What I was trying to check on was how far we would have to push out the pay date for those with the direct deposit. I checked with the bank. The 72-hour federal requirement is business days, not calendar days. So when you have holidays and weekends, that kind of threw a little ringer into what I was originally scaled for. Which also explains why so many have gone to a 10-day push out to alleviate that. I'm not solid, I'll be honest with you, I'm thinking a 7-day, so if we did payroll, would still fall the 15th, direct deposit would hit 7 days after. and then the last business day, 7 days after, to account for any weekend falls or holiday falls that don't count for the 72-hour federal requirement. I think that's the shortest that I'd be able to do.
So the 7 days, is that a maximum and between 72 hours and 7 days? Is that a window?
I don't know that it can be I don't know, and I didn't even consider where you're headed with that, to be honest with you, in fluctuating the date. I think we have to have a solid, the bank has to have a solid date of deposit.
Right.
So I was hoping to go like the 5th and the 20th and be 5 days from where we are now.
Right.
But when I was told that lay period the feds require is business days, well, now I got weekends and holidays that can't count into that. So I think the 5 days is too short. When, for instance, this month, the 31st, which we're gonna cut payroll on, is Thursday. So I could count Friday for the lay period, but I can't count Saturday or Sunday. So I could hit the 5th because of the way that falls. I'm not gonna be able to alternate the direct deposit dates. It's gonna have to fall on the same date every time. So trying to determine that gap is where I am with that business days versus calendar days for the bank. My thought process, and I have a call into Creek County, I work with them a lot with their payroll department, and they do direct deposit, but they do monthly, so they're a little different. I was gonna try to get some advice from her on how they work with that holiday weekend where their dates fall.
Right.
I just haven't been able to connect. My goal is to keep it as short as possible.
7 days ain't bad.
And I'm really kind of
I mean, I would sign up for that today.
Right.
Yeah.
I kind of think that's the goal I'm going for. I don't want to go 10 if I don't have to.
Right.
I'd kind of like to understand a little better why some of these are choosing 10, if there's something I'm not catching in that. Because I really would like to keep it as short as possible. I'm just afraid that the 5 days doesn't work depending on where those days fall on a calendar. And why I'm more comfortable looking at a 7-day push out. The other thing I'm still trying to coordinate, and I'm hoping Creek, when I talk to Tandra, can help me a little bit there, because I'm just something I've not done, is those that are not on direct deposit for whatever reason. And I don't know if it's mandated with them or not. That's a question I have for her. I'm trying to figure out if I actually run 2 separate payrolls, or is it still one payroll and this one's delayed?
Right.
You see what I mean? I mean, some of those technical things I'm still trying to.
You know, as far as forcing an employee to get a bank account for direct deposit, I think we'd be on kind of shaky ice there. But the way other companies do that is they issue prepaid cards.
Right, and farmers and merchants has told me that's an option for them.
Right.
I think where I'm going more so is not necessarily that being the issue, is I think if we send out the survey, just a very simple, are you interested because your pay date's gonna change to this date, yes or no, kind of get that very simple basic.
Right.
I think we're gonna have a lot of those that are going, I'm not changing for whatever reason. We don't have a bank account, I might as well get paid on the 15th, or my bills are already auto-paid and I'm not changing any of that. So I think we're gonna get into having that split payroll, where some are gonna receive their money on the 15th and some are gonna receive their money on whichever day that is set for the direct deposit.
I agree with that.
And so how to handle that in the system
Yes, ma'am.
is where I'm still tying up those ends. I'm working on it.
Thank you.
Is this gonna be an issue for all the county officers to really be on board with? Is this something that we would wanna have a special meeting of all the county offices? Because this is everybody,
I think
right?
that's what the survey kind of handles.
So, we'll do that.
Maybe pass the survey first,
Yeah.
and then have maybe all the officers come together to discuss it if you want.
That's
then
kind of
they-
my thought.
My understanding was the survey was just gonna be a real quick, simple, one or two question to
Right,
kind of
right.
scale where we're headed.
But still, this decision affects every office.
I talked to all my guys the other day, but I told them 2 weeks delay on checks.
Right.
And they was half and half, I mean, it's 50/50. I think if we narrowed it down to 7 days, I think,
Yeah.
My goal is to keep it as
Right.
narrow as I
I think-
can.
I can't speak for them, but I think they'd all be on board.
But I don't see being able, just because of that lay period, to go much shorter than the 7.
Right.
But some of them's issue was they got
Auto
automatic
pays.
withdrawals and, you know, like their house payment comes out in X
Right.
amount of days and.
Some of them are paycheck to paycheck too.
Well, that's true, but, you know, that is flexible on them. They can change them dates if they wish to. Anyway, I say let's get the survey done. Yeah, see where we're at.
I agree.
Let's do that.
Okay, so do you want me just, or, I know originally I think you had, or maybe I just thought you were gonna prepare, do you want me just to write a couple of questions and send it to you guys to approve and then send it out, or how would you like to do that?
Sounds like a plan.
Works.
All righty,
All
thanks,
right.
Troy.
Thanks, Troy.
Thanks, Troy. All right. Any citizens desiring to be heard?
Chris?
No citizens. Chris? Good to go? Item 10, comments, announcements, questions by the Board of County Commissioners.
I've just got one. And I was going over contracts and bills and such, and one of the things I stumbled across was the lease purchase contracts for the graders we have. And seems there was a surprise there. There's a kind of a balloon payment on all those that comes up June of next year. It was when those contracts come to an end. And what I also read was it's either June of next year or at 5,000 hours on those graders, whichever comes first. That's when that contract ends, is what I've read on that. I've got one that's getting close. But speaking with Troy a little bit, I think it might be beneficial to all of us to go back and look at those contracts we've got with Warren Cat on those graders and figure out if it's time to do something else before we run out of hours on them, because there's no trade-in on there from what I've seen. There's no trade-in value. It's just you either buy them outright at $165,000 each at the end of the contract, or you're without a road grader.
That's right. I mean, at the end of the contract, you can just turn them in, wipe your hands of it.
Right.
And purchase another one or whatever.
Right, lease purchase.
True.
One of the things that Troy brought up that I hadn't thought about was now that we have the ability to do lease purchase on state contract, the interest rate we're paying on those is just astronomical to Cat Financial. I mean, Cat Financial's charging us a bunch of money just for interest. So we didn't pay a whole lot on principal on those graders over the last couple of years, but with the state contract, that interest rate will be a little bit, I think, from what we're getting from Warren Cat. So it's something that I just thought I'd bring up. I was looking at it and I just wanted to share that with the rest of the board.
Yeah. Well, mine, go ahead, Troy.
I pulled his contract, that he asked me for it yesterday. All 3 districts contracted the same, right, at
That's
the
right.
same meeting at the exact same time. So, what he pointed out earlier was the and/or on that 5,000 hours. So y'all might want to double check. He's got one at 4,200 already. So you all might want to double check your hours on those, because that could be a reason that we need to move very quickly to do something and not a year from now.
Well, I got several machines over 5,000 hours already, but I'm buying extended warranty on them. Cat came up and gave me a proposal on trading them in, getting rid of them, but the payments doubled on them, and used market ain't no good. So I was just gonna ride mine out to the end and turn them in and go out for bids or go off state contract.
So after the 5,000 hours, basically you get an extended warranty.
You can buy an extended warranty if you want to keep the machine.
Yeah, after the 5,000 and up to the 60 month. Is that okay?
Right. I was gonna keep it up to the 60 month, just
Sure.
buy a little extra warranty, and at the end of the contract, I was just gonna turn them in,
Right.
see what's available then.
Well, I was kind of wanting to look and see what's available now.
Yeah, well, we can do it.
I mean, not that we need to do anything now, but it's always best to start looking ahead of time rather than wait till the last minute to figure out you're trapped with double the payments like you just
Right.
said, you know.
Well, I got a John Deere at my shop now that we're demoing, and he said when we're done with it, y'all's more than welcome to demo
Yeah,
it if
we'd
you'd
like
like.
to do that. I talked to Don.
Yeah, that'd be
yesterday.
great. Have him give us a call.
So I've kind of been working on it, but
Yeah, appreciate that.
my thoughts was I'd do the extended warranty, and hopefully the market comes back a little bit. Because last time I traded mine in, I had a lot of equity built up, and I came out
Right.
really well.
Right.
But now the used market ain't no good.
Right.
There's no equity there, so
Right. Yeah, the oil field activity's kind of slowed down.
the used machine ain't worth nothing now. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping in another year it will be. So
There
what
are
I'm
some
making.
really nice road graders that sold at Elk City for just a little bit of nothing.
Yeah. But I tell you, it's hard to put a value on warranty.
That's true. That's true.
It is.
Well, when you start working on one of them, it'll cost you.
But that's all I had on comments.
We've had a lot of work done on some of our circles and various and sundry things, so yeah. We had one motor that broke. They had to completely, totally overhaul it, so, yeah. And it was on them. All right. Moving on, anything else?
I do, but
Okay.
it's really not commissioner business, it's trust business.
Yes.
I'm
Trust.
Oh, okay.
the Public Works Trust. I went to a closing, do a closing on the 19th clinic.
Yes.
Can I speak about that? Is that wrong? I mean, I know it's not commissioner
That's
business.
just a comment.
I tell you, I'll just make a copy of this and give it to you after the meeting. So y'all don't run off and make copies and give you this.
Okay.
How's that?
Works.
Okay.
Item 11, consideration possible action on adjournment.
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Out of here.